Hi, welcome to International Recaps. On Valentine's Day, a man and a girl are dating in a restaurant, and he just got divorced a few days ago. Sandy is his daughter's name. Her daughter's age was almost the same as the girl in front of him. He is talking about his growing wealth all the time, which irritates that girl. She makes an excuse and goes to the restroom in order to avoid him. He checks his mobile and finds Sandy's missed calls. He ignores them, but Sandy reached there. He tells Sandy that he has come for a business meeting. Sand is not here following him. She seems upset and disturbed. She was very angry with his father over the divorce. She orders Cupid, but she regrets it now. Cupid had killed her mother along with all of her friends. Hearing it, her father takes her outside furiously. He meets the same girl who was with him. She is leaving that place. Before she goes, an arrow from the sky stabs her in the eye, and she is dead there. They see the flying Cupid in the sky. They run to the forest, rescuing their lives. In the forest, they think they are safe, but Cupid gets there just in time. First, he attacks Sandy's father's leg with an arrow, and consequently, he falls to the ground. After that, he strikes Sandy's head with the same arrow. So both died at that moment. He pulls out the heart of Sandy's father. Now, the appearance of Cupid is shown here with this demon's different actions. After 1 year and 2 days before Valentine's Day, there, a girl named Faye is shown to be practicing black magic. She likes her school teacher, Duncan, speaks magical words to attract him, and she performs various rituals in order to make him fall in love with her. But Duncan, like his colleague Helen, they were together in school. A teacher informs Duncan that chewing gum has stuck in the hair of your student. That girl was Faye. She was trying to remove chewing gum from her hair with the help of her friend Mate. Her classmate Elise applied this chewing gum to her hair, and there is a reason behind it. Faye's father died last year, and her mother's affair is with Elise's father now. According to Elise, Faye's mother is the cause of her parents' separation, so she gets her revenge on Faye. Duncan learns from Faye that this mischief is Alec's creation. Duncan meets Alec and talks to her, but Elise is not the kind of girl to understand easily. While teaching in his class, Duncan asks a question to Elise. Elise surely does not know the answer, so the whole class, including Faye, starts laughing at her. Elise knows it. Faye thinks her black magic is affecting Duncan because he is becoming friendly towards her. Elise steals Duncan's cell phone, and returning from school to the house, she sends a message to Faye from this mobile. Faye thinks that her magic have affected Duncan, who is in love with her. She also replies to feeling happy, but she had never thought of what Elise could do with her. Elise calls her for a meeting after classes, and Faye agrees. Elise asks for a photo from her. Faye sends a selfie, but she demands more, so Faye sends an uncivilized photo to her. Seeing it, Elise and her other friends are making fun of her. Faye finds a letter and a rose in the locker the next day. She feels happy seeing that, but it was Alicia's. She is excited to meet Duncan. Her friend Mate comes to her and asks about the dance of Valentine's Day on the coming day, but Faye rejects. On the other side, Elise is making a plan. She calls Faye in Duncan's office when he will check papers alone there, and Elise will make their video, which she can upload on the internet. Faye reaches Duncan's office as the classes are over. Alcie is also recording it all. Faye talks to Duncan as she was in the messages. Duncan feels Faye's odd behavior, so he tells her to leave. Suddenly, she gave him a kiss, but he stopped her. After recording everything, Elise leaves that place. Faye leaves after becoming hurt. She checks her black magic book to see if she has missed anything. And she also finds the completion of the spell, but there is still a remaining spell. And it was the call to those who destroy love. Faye is very worried but still avoids using this spell. Next day is Valentine's Day, and Faye also receives a card. But she does not know about the sender, so she tears it. At the same time, Duncan was in the classroom, and kissing video plays. Seeing it, Faye flees from there, and Duncan is also worried. He might be suspended due to this. Faye sees those photos, which she had sent to Duncan's cell. Elise comes outside with her friends and adds fuel to the fire. But now Faye's anger was unbearable for her, so she slapped Elise, and there is a fight between them. Both teachers come there and solve the problem, and Duncan cancels their Valentine's Day dance. Faye calls the evil Cupid. Evil Cupid asks the reason for the call. Faye asks it to destroy the love in the whole school. It hears her wish and says that love will begin to fade after Valentine's Day. Faye said she wanted to end the romance forever. Evil Cupid asks her if she knows the consequences or not. She replies, yes. In fact, she doesn't know anything. Fulfilling her wish, it has disappeared from there. The principal summons Faye and Elise to the office. They are punished for destroying the Valentine's Day decorations. Miss Helen leads them to the dancing hall. But at that time, her friend was in the washroom. And then Cupid shows up. She heard a voice and strained her ears to find out where it came from. At the same time, Cupid releases its arrow, which exactly strikes on her ear. She runs away crying. After catching her, it peels off her skin in the shape of a heart. On the other side, they reach the hall along with Mate, who was there to help Faye. They notice the heart-shaped cookies that they eat. They realize that their taste is similar to chickens. Bullies answers the phone and receives a call from her beloved, who is waiting for her outside the school. He has come to take her away. Miss Helen stopped her, but Elsie left the place. That teacher immediately informs the principal. The principal asks him to stop, but she hurriedly sits in the car. She believed she was free, but she was not. Their car wouldn't start. The principal stood in front of the car and asked them to get off the car. Miss Helen is observing everything. Suddenly, they see something in the sky. It was Cupid who shot his arrow into the principal's eye without letting him think. Elsie and her beloved run from there. But Cupid also shoots arrows at her beloved. Helen goes to Duncan and tells him that her mobile is not working. Duncan is in the same situation. His mobile is also inoperative. They do not understand what they have seen in the sky, so they cannot share it with anyone. However, seeing Britt's condition, they understand the danger. And Faye realizes she has made a mistake. She wanted to kill Love, but she didn't know that Cupid would kill it all. While checking on Britt, Duncan observes the poison that is coming out of that arrow. That poison had entered his heart and spread throughout his body. Duncan sends all his students and teachers there to prevent anxiety. Duncan tries hard to save his life but fails, and Britt dies there. On the other hand, they all arrive at the dance hall, and they notice something unusual, such as someone's heart beating rapidly on the screen. Faye and Mate are not present there but outside. Mate asks Faye what is going on here, because he was doubting Faye, as she knows something about it. But she does not reveal the fact, and both come into the hall. Cupid is after them. When the arrow is fired, they all run away. They all separate from one another. Cupid kills a teacher, and while saving her, an arrow is pricked into the hand of Mate. Then Faye escapes with him. Elise and her friend enter the lab, where they look at Faye's black magic book, and they understand that Faye is the cause of it. Cupid kills Elise after one of her friends separates her. It thrusts the roses into her neck. Mate's hand was spreading poison, putting him to death. He tells Faye that he sent her a Valentine's Day card, and he tells her that he has liked her since the 8th grade. But she did not see anyone except Duncan. Faye knows all about it and says that he is like her younger brother. Finding the dead body of Lena, they all know about the material of heart cookies. Within a time, Duncan and Helen also reach there. Seeing the hand of Mate, Duncan says, "I can save his life." They all move to a science laboratory, where Elsie reveals that Faye is the cause of everything. Faye also confesses that she has called Cupid using black magic. Now Faye is responsible for killing Mate. Elsie and her friend leave to search for their 2 other friends. Duncan makes the decision to cut off his hand in order to prevent the poison from reaching Mate's heart and threatening his life. When Elsie and her friend reach the dance room, Cupid attacks them. Elsie escapes, leaving her friend there, and Cupid ends his life. Duncan saves Mate's life by cutting his hand. Here, Faye confesses how she used black magic to win Duncan's love. Duncan, ignoring everything, asks, "How can we stop Cupid?" Faye says Cupid cannot be stopped. He will leave as soon as Valentine's Day is over. Duncan sees that only 10 minutes remained for the end of Valentine's Day. They had to hide themselves in order to save their lives. But it was a tough situation. Duncan and Faye go outside to get something for Mate. They meet Elsie there. During this time, Cupid comes to Helen. Hearing Helen's crying, they come back hurriedly. Searching for Helen, they enter the dance room, where Cupid was nearly about to kill Helen. Faye has no other way, so he calls again on the god of death. Faye instructs all not to look into its eyes. If it happens, it will capture the soul of that person and take it with him. Faye orders it to end everything here. He demands a sacrifice. Duncan says, "Minutes are left, and we can save our lives easily." The owner of death says that minutes are enough to kill all the people in the hall. Faye offers herself as a sacrifice. Elsie turns her neck and looks into Cupid's eyes at this time. Cupid takes Elsie with him, and the clock strikes, and the sacrifice is also fulfilled. Valentine's Day is over, and Cupid leaves. Elsie suddenly rouses, but Faye hits a book on her face in fear. It collides with the arrow and kills her. Afterward, Helen takes Mate to the hospital while Faye apologizes to Duncan. And Duncan expresses his love, and Faye's love spell begins to work. This movie ends here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks.